Hello there, everybody. This is Force Weaver, your dear cleric. Welcome you all to this reaction video for Robwords. Are these words really untranslatable into English? Ah, okay. They were doing some. Gemini was doing some comms earlier. Yes. Without further ado, let's get into it. This should be pretty interesting.
A
Bunch of foreign
Swedish word that
languages.
means just the right amount. A Malay word for the time it takes to eat a banana.
That's
a
very
jargon
specific.
word for the look between two people who want the same thing, but neither dares make the first move. The internet is
So
full
specific.
of lists of words that are untranslatable into English. But are they real? Some of them are, but some of them are not.
Are
so
not?
let's investigate
Oh.
in another Robwords.
What do you mean by
Now,
are
I've had a
not?
lot of help with this one. I've been asking people all over the
Ig,
world whether
Saudi,
these words really
Sadad,
do
Nagom.
exist in their languages and mean what we English speakers are told they mean. And I've uncovered some stuff.
Ooh,
We're going to test
yeah.
these words for two things. One, do they mean what the online listicles and memes say they mean? And two, are they really untranslatable? Something we have to do first, though, is to define what we mean by untranslatable.
Yeah, having a
Because
premise first.
arguably, no word is untranslatable if you can explain what it means. If you have, you've translated it. But for the sake of this video, let's take untranslatable as meaning that you can't translate it into English with a single word.
Okay, with a
One
single
for one.
word, huh?
Take the Danish hygge. No untranslatable list is complete without
Hygge.
it, but you can translate it as a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment.
Conviviality,
or well-being.
wow.
That is translating it, but it took 15 words. 15 words that I stole from the Oxford English Dictionary. Yes, there's your first revelation right there. Hygge is in the OED. It has been embedded into enough English sentences to make it in. Anyway, hygge does
I've
mean
never heard of this
what the
word
online
before.
lists say it means, and you can't translate it into a single
Can
word.
you just say
Coziness
cozy?
comes pretty close, but Danes will tell you that it's not quite right. So,
Okay.
hygge is legit untranslatable. Another hero of the untranslatable lists that is also in the Oxford English Dictionary is saudade.
Saudade.
I've just said it in a terribly British way, but it's a Portuguese word pronounced like this in Portugal
Saudade.
and this
Saudade.
in Brazil.
Saudade.
Now, if you put
Saudade.
saudade into Google Translate, you'll get the one-word translation, longing, but that really doesn't cover it. The famous saudade of the Portuguese is a vague and constant desire for something
Vague constant
that does not
desire.
and probably cannot exist, for something other than the present, a turning towards the past or towards the future. Not
Wow.
an active discontent or
And
poignant
Verde,
sadness, but
saudade,
an
yeah.
indolent, dreaming wistfulness. That definition is from a book published in 1912. This word has been doing
called
the
In
rounds of
Portugal.
English texts for over a century, and it's a genuine untranslatable. So what about this one? Pisang zapra, Malay for the time needed
Pisang zapra,
to eat
but
a banana. Hilarious. I actually found this one in a
it is
book.
kind of hilarious.
But is it real? Well, I should say that this is more often listed as two words, pisang zapra, but that doesn't really matter because it appears to be nonsense.
Aww.
The Malay for banana is pisang, I'm told, not pisang, and zapra means nothing in Malay whatsoever.
Nothing.
One Malaysian commenter on Quora pointed this out, adding, "We also couldn't care less how long it takes to eat a banana."
Yeah, I know.
So what has gone wrong?
Yeah, it seems really
a reporter
weird,
at the
interesting.
Malay Mail called Zarira AR went deep into this one and traced the error back to a couple of English books about extraordinary untranslatable words. It's
Of course
possible that one
not.
of these
Of course
books
they would
had
have
actually
those
got it
in way back
from
when.
the other. The idea then spread still further thanks to posts like this one from the British TV show QI.
QI?
After Malay speakers pointed out it was gibberish, they took it down and apologised and revealed that they had got the word from a review of one of those two books I just mentioned. The one
Wow, that's
that
funny.
included this. Now, I'm not naming the books because starting book beef is not really my style, and
Book beef.
they are otherwise good books. But it's thought the author of one of them may have come across someone using a combination of the Malay pisang, banana, and a Tamil word
Tamil.
meaning eat.
The
The Malay Mail says this combination, basically banana eating, can have a somewhat vulgar meaning.
Oh.
But anyway, Pisan Zapra, forget it.
No, it's not.
Plenty
Not
more
real at all.
debunking where that came from.
Oh, this is probably
Have
like
you
a...
heard of lagom? It's a Swedish word meaning just the right amount. Or is it? Is it real?
I've never heard.
lagom.
That's Andrea, my Swedish tutor.
Okay.
You know how
Oh,
I
okay.
like to dabble in different languages. And she says...
This is part of like
lagom
the
is definitely a
the
thing.
ad read, it
Lagom
seems.
is just perfect, and I feel that it describes.
But
the
is it
Swedish
named? But does it
mentality
have a
very on
corresponding
point,
IKEA furniture
because
named
it's
after
not
it?
too much and it's not too little. It's just the right amount of anything.
Just
Is
right.
it hot enough or cold enough? That are lagom. It's like it's perfectly fine.
So that's a big old tick for lagom. I've
It's
been
very
having
much
weekly
like
Swedish
kind of like
lessons
in
with
the
Andrea for a few months
kind of like a
now,
Goldilocks
and
zone,
I
but
just so happen to
in
have
one
found
word,
her
it seems.
using this video's sponsor, Preply. They gave me a choice
Yeah,
of
that's
over
pretty
100
interesting.
tutors whose teaching style matched my learning style after I answered a few
Yeah,
questions.
learning
around
about
there.
these sort of things
I
is
learned,
always
and
really
Andrea
fun.
ticked
Like
all the
where
boxes.
words come
Learning with an actual
from,
human
learning like
tutor
different other
is
like
great. It means
words
you can
in
have a good
different
laugh,
languages.
but also
Inte bra.
get taught in a way entirely
And-
suited to you. And learning with Preply is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, pick a tutor. They
Right,
have over 100,000
so-
of them teaching 90 languages.
I
2,
think yeah,
learn
there's probably a bunch of
consistently
like
and make progress.
like
And
Chinese
3,
words that
begin to
probably
speak
could
confidently.
be
I'm still a
untranslatable,
bit
but
rubbish,
I'm
I
not
can
coming
feel
up with
myself
anything,
making
especially
progress with
proverbs.
Swedish, because actually
that's not
speaking
one
a language
word.
is, from my experience, how you
Because
learn.
usually- because
And Preply
with Chinese
is
being
designed to
like
get
the
you doing
pictographic
that.
sort of
Try
like,
it out to find
language
a
it
tutor that's
is,
going to
and
get
I'm
you
sure I'm
speaking
not saying that right.
new language. Use my special
It
link
usually
in the
needs like a
description
whole
of this
combination
video
of
to
like
get a juicy
a string of like
50%
words
discount
and
off your
characters to
first
mean
lesson
something.
with Preply. Now here's a beautiful word. Plimp plomp pletterer. A Dutch word for skimming stones across the water. It is imitative of the sound the stone makes
Very
as it
onomatopoeia-ish,
bounces,
yeah.
then splashes. And it is also
Not really,
not real.
yeah.
I asked my subscribers to confirm or deny the existence of a few of these words. Plimp plomp pletterer was among them. And the unanimous response from Dutch speakers was,
No.
it doesn't exist. Flemish speakers too. Perhaps there is some corner of the Low Countries where it's used. The author of this book must have got it from somewhere. Notice it has an N on the end of it here, which perhaps makes more grammatical sense than the version that's doing the rounds online. But it's definitely not standard Dutch, which is a shame, because it's fun.
It is really
Actually, while
fun,
I'm
but
showing
like
off my
it said, it
book
seems almost
collection,
too
I'll show you
almost
this one
onomatopoeia-ish.
that I just bought, the Guinness Book
Guinness
of
World-
World Records.
really?
I bought it because I wanted to show you a specific record in here, but I can't find it. It might not even be in this edition.
Oh,
so we'll
no.
have to make do with this scan of the 2006 edition.
The
and
fictional
this
languages.
record for most succinct words.
That's funny.
It says the most challenging word for any lexicographer, that's a dictionary writer, to define briefly is the Fuegian word mamilapinatapai, meaning looking at each other, hoping that either will offer to do something which both parties desire but are unwilling to do.
I said very
You
specific.
will find this word all over the internet. In fact, it is the name of an EP just released by K-pop band Eyelit. I'm told that's how you pronounce it. And you can see why. A single word for that look shared between two people who want the same thing but dare not make the first move.
Very romance-like.
It's kind of romantic,
Yeah.
even a bit sexy. But is it real? Well, this is a tricky one, but thankfully I got some more help. Shout out to Paula, who is in Chile and gave me a massive leg up with this. The Fuegian language that the guys at Guinness are referring to is Yagan, a
Yagan.
language spoken in Tierra del Fuego, in the
wow,
far
and the
southern
very-
reaches of Chile and Argentina.
The fire tip there, nice.
At least it was spoken there, but sadly the last fluent speaker died in 2022.
Oh no,
Her
it's
name was
basically
Christina
almost a
Calderon,
dead language.
and she was apparently asked about Mamilapinatapai and didn't know it. However, it's not reasonable to expect one person to know all of the words in their language, so that doesn't necessarily mean Mamilapinatapai is not real. More research required. And that research, thanks to Paola helping me navigate some of the Spanish sources on this, weirdly led me back to English.
Back to English.
Specifically, this Jargon to English dictionary, written in 1933. It was written by a missionary, Reverend Thomas Bridges, after spending almost 2 decades in Tierra del Fuego. This book appears to be the sole written source of this word. All the modern listicles and memes trace back to this. To
Interesting.
be precise, this bit. There it is. I can't tell you how excited I was to find this. Mamilapinatapai, to look at each other, hoping that either will offer to do something which both parties much desire
Very
done,
much like
but are
transcribed
unwilling to
from
do.
the original
Now,
source,
that fits reasonably well with the definition given these days, doesn't it? Although there is one little word in there that I think gives it a different impression to the sexy definition that we have now. The Reverend writes about something which both parties much desire done. And I
Done.
feel like the done there makes it sound more like it's about avoiding chores than
Oh,
stealing a kiss.
yeah.
Or more. But it's probably close enough, isn't it? However, is the author right about the word existing and its meaning? I mean, it's worth noting that he mentions it not as an entry in the dictionary itself, but just as a curiosity in his general remarks at the start of the book. It's hard not to read something into that. The BBC published an excellent article about this a few years back, and it quotes a linguist who studied jargon, saying, though Reverend Bridges knew jargon better than any European before or since, he was sometimes prone to exoticizing the language and to being very verbose in his
so kind of like stretching the definitions and
Meros suggests Mamilapinatapai could in fact mean simply to make each other feel awkward. However, the same article includes another interpretation from a jargon museum guide who describes it as that instant in which everyone is quiet just before a story is told. So could Mamilapinatapai essentially be a loaded silence or pregnant pause? Unfortunately, we're never going to be sure whether the source of the modern meaning doing the rounds on the English language internet is based on truth or the author's embellishment. So
there's an expression in my
I'm
language
going to give
called anglicized zatavachi, zatawatevich. It translates to get things done, but not exactly. It's something you do more to make other things more useful to you. It's hard to explain. It's like an art of talk to get better outcome for self. Like talking about how a car is not the best, so the price should be lower after the appointment. Kind of like bargaining, or like basically I don't know why this is like coming to mind, but it's basically a charisma roll as a single word, huh? Just like trying to like wheel and deal. Talk about maybe Dr. find a better time to eat than you for you. That's funny. Something like that. Yeah, I know.
A maybe.
Oh, well, maybe.
Wow, I've just realised we've got over halfway through a video about untranslatable words, and we haven't even mentioned German yet, a particular crime, as I'm speaking to you from Germany, and once did a video entirely about untranslatable German words. German grammar makes it very easy to create long, compound words. It's a feature of a lot of languages, but German...
when you go, I go to. Oh, in a very nice way.
I came across this as I was riding through Berlin the other day on the outside of a large bakery. It says Broteinfahrt, which literally means bread entrance. So you could say, wow, German has a word for a gate reserved just for bread. But it doesn't really. It's just possible to make that word if you or your marketing department...
It almost sounds like protein fart.
I can now imagine Broteinfahrt spreading online as a German word for the unique ingress that can only be achieved by baked goods.
Huzzah.
Profound. But while I'm being a bit smug, this would be a good time to come clean about some of the words in my untranslatable German video, because I did once or twice fall into exactly the kind of trap that we're talking about.
Well, at least
For
like
example,
you're owning
I
up
repeated
about
a
it.
common claim about this word, Kummerspeck. Now, it is a genuine term for the weight you put on through comfort eating.
Oh.
And it often gets translated into English as grief bacon.
Grief bacon?
I, however, now think, since doing that video, that this is a little bit overselling the humour of the word. Yes, Speck means bacon, but it also just means fat, you know, the fat that you'd find on bacon. So you could just translate it as grief fat. But obviously that's not as funny as grief bacon. I also cited the word Backpfeifengesicht, a term for someone with a punchable face. Again, it's real, but this one's very seldom used. It exists more as an example of German efficiency than an actual insult, I think, even if Die Ärzte did sing a song about it.
You're
Another
mistaken.
popular example of Deutsch directness is Schadenfreude, pleasure
We know that,
in someone
yeah.
else's misfortune. But I am convinced that this is in such frequent use in English anyway that it's not even worth mentioning. You could translate now
Yeah.
Schadenfreude into Schadenfreude with the lowercase s instead of the capital S from German. It is in the Oxford English
Lowercase s.
Dictionary. Ditto Zeitgeist and Wanderlust.
A beer.
One that I will absolutely stand by
Why?
for my video
A
about
beer.
German words is Wegbier. It's a word for a beer that you drink on your way somewhere, usually somewhere where you're going to drink even more of them. But German
So-
also has another word for a beer on
So
the
kind of
go,
like pre-gaming, but
and
not
that's
pre-gaming?
Fußpilz. Pils
Fußpilz?
is the beer,
Oh, okay.
Pilsner, so it basically means foot beer, but it gets extra points for being a pun because Fußpilz is foot fungus.
Oh no.
It's athlete's foot.
Oh, that
I think we
sucks.
might need to ask the continental Germanic cultures if they're okay, because they have a lot of words for seeking solace in beer. For example, Swedish and Danish have gravöl and graul. I'm sure I've mispronounced both of those, which both
Like
mean
grovel.
a beer drunk at a funeral.
Oh,
It's literally a grave beer. I think it can also refer to the wake itself, but it's a beer you drink while
well, with like a
reminiscing
culture
about
that's
a
like
lost
used to
friend.
it.
On the sunnier
Used
side
to
of
that.
life, Norwegian has utepils, which literally means outdoor beer, but I'm reliably informed by you that implicit to the word is usually the enjoyment of said beer in the sunshine.
Oh, the
it doesn't
sunshine,
stretch quite
that's
as
cute.
far as on the first hot day of the year, as some English language sources claim, but nevertheless, it's lovely, and all the more precious thanks to the extreme lengths that your
Oh.
government goes to stop you buying beer. Am I right, Norway?
Political
And while
comment.
we're in the northern reaches of
Bunch
Europe,
of
shout out
klaxons.
to the Finns who have
Oh.
kalsarikennit, which means pants drunk.
Eh?
It describes sitting at home, drinking in your underwear with no intention of going out.
Well,
There is
very
definitely
sad.
a thing in the Nordics about enjoying the simpler things in life. I was actually discussing this with Andrea, who grew up in the Swedish-speaking bit of Finland.
Yeah, we don't need a lot, I feel. And I can see this with my friends and people here. There's not this hustle mentality, like always going after something new. We're just like,
Very much
okay, this is
un-American,
enough.
like not like the
Like, I think
Americans.
this feeling of enoughness is very calming.
It's very lagom.
Yeah, lagom.
Very
Yeah,
just enough, yeah, the
it's lagom,
Goldilocks.
it's enough.
Goldilocks zone.
And so we associate the Nordics with words for simple pleasures. But what about strange pleasures?
Oh.
Have you ever
Uh-oh.
come across this word from French? Frotteur. Now, I was always told it described someone who got their kicks from rubbing up against people in crowds. In
Huh.
French, frotter is to rub, but I think I always half believed it was BS. So for this video, I thought I'd check it out once and for all and look it up in one of the big French dictionaries. I searched Larousse's advert-addled website for the word frotteur and found that it says frotteur/frotteurs, because
It's a
women
Fräulein.
can be frotteurs too, pratiquant de frotteurisme, or practicer of frotteurism.
Frotteurism.
Frotteurism. So what does that mean then? Click. It is une affection psychiatrique caractérisée par la nécessité de toucher une personne non
Touché.
consentante.
Okay, I know I can
ou
like
de
parse
se
a little bit
frotter
of that
contre elle
French.
pour obtenir une excitation sexuelle.
Oh.
A psychiatric condition characterized by the need to touch or rub against a non-consenting person to obtain sexual arousal.
Huh.
Yeah, it's real. While we're on potential nightclub behaviors, let me mention this commonly cited untranslatable. Mabuki mavuki. Now, it's
Mabuki.
sometimes given as being from Bantu, which
Bantu,
is a language
okay.
family, not a language. So what's going on there? Some websites say it's from Swahili, but not all of them. Already a bit suspicious. Anyway,
Yeah,
mabuki
seems like-
mavuki is consistently quoted as meaning
What-
to shuck off one's clothes in order to
What
dance.
the
The verb
heck?
is always shuck in these articles, a term that I have
Shuck.
pretty much never heard outside the context of oysters.
Yeah.
But anyway, is mabuki mavuki even real? Well, it is really hard to say. Reliable sources on its origins are few and far between. The best thing I could find was this glossary of African words in
That's boo
American
boo boo boo
English,
no
which
booty.
gives it
Booty.
as the source of our term boogie woogie, and says
What?
it means I take off or I shuck off. Then there are these brackets doing a huge amount
That
of
hinders my
extra
performance.
work. It doesn't specify
What?
what language it's from either.
That is
so I
crazy.
think we're very much in a citation needed situation here. I also found Mabuki in this Swahili to English dictionary, but it's translated as a Malagasy, i.e. someone
Malagasy?
from Madagascar.
Huh.
Mavuki's not in there at all.
It should
It's
be
actually
here.
hard to find Mavuki outside of the context of explaining the African origin of boogie woogie, which does rather make me think that it's been sort of wished into existence for precisely that purpose.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, the OED, my favourite, says of boogie woogie, an origin in an African language, as frequently proposed, is not borne out by early evidence. Now, that is an etymology burn. I am a bit sceptical about this one, but would
Yeah, it's a
love
little bit-
to be proven
little
wrong,
bit-
because
little bit
mabuki
weird,
is
yeah.
a fun word for what would be a fun concept. If you can shed any more genuine light on the subject, then please do leave me a comment. Don't just put it in a chat bot and then copy and paste whatever that says. If you can shed some real light on where this word came
Nothing
from,
online.
or if it
Yeah,
even exists, I'd love to hear from you.
That would be pretty
So
fun.
we have busted some myths and blown some fake untranslatables out of the water. And that means there's space for some new ones. I asked
New
for your
ones?
suggestions, and you gave me some real beauties. So let's see if we can get plimp, plomp, pletterer replaced on the lists with the actual Dutch word talente, which means
Alemta.
something you don't have a word for. How perfect is that? It's literally
That's really
a
funny, yeah.
language gap. In English, we'd call it a lexical gap, but the Dutch have it in one word, talente. How about we replace pisan zapra with the Tagalog sumbat, which can refer
Sumbat.
to the act of bringing up past favours to make someone feel bad. Faith
Oh.
says it's a kind of emotional blackmail.
Yeah,
and
that
instead
sucks.
of repeating mame lapinatapai for the millionth
Thanks for the
time,
vocabulary, like, for example, Russians have Gary Potter, not H, because H is Slavic. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty interesting.
in the last century, why not go for the Brazilian Portuguese word for that Friday feeling?
Friday feeling.
Sextou, a verb that
Sextou.
means it's become the weekend, literally Fridayed. Thanks,
Nice.
Connor. Oh, and just lastly, a fun word from Scots, slitter, meaning to eat
Slitter.
or
Oh,
drink
yeah, you
messily.
made
If you
him.
get
I don't know about
food
that
down
one.
you while you're eating, you've slittered. And that is my
Slittered.
seamless way into
Uh-oh.
reminding you
You
that
gotta be careful with
I
that one.
I'm going to be doing 10 nights of my wordy nerdy live show at this year's Edinburgh Fringe. I'll be spending an
Sounds
hour
pretty fun.
revolutionizing the English language.
But that's
even
all.
coming up with
It's
a
all in
new
Europe.
alphabet
Europe. So if you are
every evening
in
from the
that
6th
part of the
to
world,
the 16th of August, I would
go check 'em
love
out.
to see you there. I shall put a link to tickets in the description. Thank you so much to everyone who helped with this video, especially Andrea and Paola, and everyone who commented on my community posts, giving me their own untranslatables and also helping me scotch a few myths. Why not tell me some more untranslatable words in the comments? And while you're down there, perhaps you could click subscribe. I think you'd enjoy this video next, and I'll see you over there.
No worries. All right, that was it. Yeah, one more thing to say. Slavic languages have this progression/change. For example, Czech words don't use G unless it's a word from a different language. Oh, interesting. I know that in English there was like the whole like vowel tone shift, I think, or a great vowel shift. A lot of like difference in especially accents from like British to like American ones had like kind of a rhotic thing where they did something with the R's. I think I can't remember if the rhotic ones add the R sound or take away the R sound from like a word. Anyway, yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Let me know if you guys have like any sort of like fascinating like language terms or words that in your language that you know. And put it down below in the comments as well. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.